everybody. Welcome to the Gun Gamers Podcast, episode 35. And this is going to be an episode where hopefully at some point we'll be featuring Ryan from Cobra Airsoft Legion. But if we are not featuring Ryan from Cobra Airsoft Legion, then that is purely because, unfortunately, we may have had a miscommunication in time zones, or he may have got caught doing something. So right now what we've got here is I'm Eric.
I'm Lutz.
I'm Garrett.
And we're getting started. Sorry about the late start, but again, we're hoping that Ryan will show up. I think he either got caught doing something or we had a time zone crisscross. But in any case, if he shows up, we'll let him in. But we're going to start by telling our favorite stories about messing with Ryan at MilSim West Insurgency, because we have been to some of the same Insurgency games together. And we've had some really, really good times messing around.
All right. Do you want me to kick it off?
Oh, yeah, sure. Go ahead and kick that off, Lutz.
So at Zaporizhia last year? Is that just a year ago? I've lost track of time.
Yeah, Zaporizhia was back in September.
All right. It was only September. It's actually shocking. All right. So back when we did Zaporizhia, we Gun Gamers went mostly as Wolf Koa. The most respected.
Oh, I got him! I got him! We got him! Yeah! How you doing, man?
Hey, how we doing, gentlemen?
Doing good. We are live.
Nice.
How are you this evening?
I can't complain, sir. I think we're on different time zones.
I sent you 7 p.m. Eastern, and I thought that translated. So it sounds like it definitely sounds like we had a time zone.
It did not translate in my world.
No worries at all, man. How you doing?
Good, great, man. How you guys doing?
Doing good. So for those who don't know who just joined, who are you?
I am Tweenie of the Cobra Airsoft Legion. Been in airsoft now since 2005 with my own company. I've worked for MSW for a couple years now, and done a lot in the airsoft world in the last 18 years.
Yeah, I mean, you've been at every insurgency that I've been at, except for oh God, which one were you at Saratov?
Yes.
The second one, the Resurgency?
No, the second one I was not. The second one I was not. But I have been at just about every one for the last 3 or 4 years now.
Yeah, because you were at Chechen Collapse. Were you with the police for that one?
No. I started out as just a lonely civilian. And then I worked for the Grozny police. And then I worked my way up to snaking away into the vice presidency, and then I took over the presidency.
Hell yeah.
I know a guy who did a similar.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, that's what I did. We'll see this year. I'm real excited about this year. So I think this year's going to be real good out in Victorville. It looks like there's a lot of people signed up for it already. So.
Oh, I'm going.
Yeah, we'll be there. We'll be there.
It's gonna be a good time. I've got some hilarious character ideas, depending if they need me to work it.
Yeah, my thing is, I'll see if I can live this year. I don't know, it being 2 years into the presidency, if that's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? I'm setting up now.
There's a target on your back, especially now that you're saying it out loud.
Always has been.
Yeah,
I know that all too well,
right?
Yes.
Saratov was way too spicy of a region to last for more than a year, Garrett.
Oh,
no way. Way too spicy.
There were so many gunfights involving the president that it was pure chaos.
Yeah.
I started as a lowly trash man and ended up being a representative of the people for the president of Saratov, ultimately superseding the incumbent.
Sure.
Yeah, that was a wild time.
Yeah, I mean, the Zaporizhian power plant too, really cool. I didn't play a president there. I was just the manager for the power plant. That was a good time.
Oh my God, dude, my
Was-
favorite part of Zaporizhia was when you brought us down into a hallway and like just put a gun in our face, like, who sent your boys after me?
Well, yeah, I did that, and then you guys were like, nobody, so I just shot somebody, and I'm like, who wants to be next? And you got hit, and everybody's like, he did it.
It was so perfect. I
it
was
was-
trying to, I was like, you know, just having that moment of like the LARP with the interrogation, and it's like, oh God, the stakes are real. I'm gonna get shot.
So much worse than that for what was it? It was me, Connor. I'm trying to remember. I think one other person was with us. We were just coming out those like front main roll-up doors, and you like came up on us with a bunch of security guys, put guns on us, had a gun to I think literally to Connor's head, and it was a bucket of like a box of cola, and we had no clue that anything had happened. We had no Aiden AWOL and just murdered a bunch of people. So you're like, who did it? Who did it? We're literally like, I don't know.
Yeah, I even took 7 people to jail with an unloaded pistol at that game because they didn't see my slide get racked back, and I slid it back real quick, and they didn't know I was out of ammo, and I'm just like, you have to go to jail now. And they're like, okay, I'll go. I'm like, you people should have ran.
Things can escalate so fast at those games too.
Yeah, like go ahead.
No, go ahead. You go.
Like I tell people all the time when they play insurgencies, you're gonna go and you're gonna have awesome action for an hour and a half, and then you're gonna be like, fuck, I'm bored. And then you're gonna be like, holy shit, I went off and ate a sandwich and didn't stay, and then there was more action and I just missed an hour. Like you just don't know when it's gonna pop off, man. This shit hits off at 2:00 in the damn morning, 2 in the afternoon. You don't know.
That interaction out front literally was us walking to you guys yelling at us and like telling us you're going to arrest us, to one of the CIA guys took a pot shot because it saw an opportunity. It blew up. We sprinted over to the cola stand outside, and it ended with blank fire and a whole like just engagement out front of like 50 people. And I was like, all I was going to do is deliver a box of soda. Like, I don't know how did we get here? You know?
Oh, man.
But that's why those
funny.
games are special.
Yeah, they're crazy.
Oh, what was it? At Grozny, I think we were sleeping, and then all of a sudden, I think the Russians attacked the like civilian sleeping area.
Classic.
And by the time I got up, got my rifle, and went outside to like help, it was all done. Like, it was dead quiet. I was looking around. I was like, what happened? What's going on? And literally nobody was around. So I crawled back into my sleeping bag and went back to sleep.
I feel like that sometimes. But I did want to say, you know, we started off immediately about MilSim West Insurgency. So everyone watching, playing the MilSim West drinking game, take a drink. But more importantly, for like a lot of what I want to talk about with this podcast is you also run your own company.
Yes, Cobra Airsoft Legion.
Yeah, and
just like from G.I. Joe, man. We started our first games back in 2005 of May.
Nice.
Woo!
So we got 18 years.
Lutz, you've been playing since what? Like right around
03.
God, the 90s, bro. The 90s. We started in 96, and when we were meeting for Airsoft, there was Classic Army, there was Tokyo Maru, and you thought an awesome game was 15, 20 people. Like, it was a big event. So I've seen Airsoft go from yay big to woo, real big, and it's a beautiful thing. I mean, I love it.
Yeah. Oh, it's sick.
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't have dreamed back in 2005 or even 2003, I'm going to be in a helicopter one day shooting somebody's ass. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing that's crazy is like, you know, every now and then Lutz and I have this conversation a lot where people bitch that like, oh, it feels like Airsoft is dying. And I'm like, what reality do you live in?
I think we talked about this. We were a little drunk, but we tried to film a video on it last night surrounding the Clone Wars. And
sure.
How that just like blew up Airsoft. And we were talking about how it's like the demographic of anyone from 19 to 25 goes through at some point. Airsoft's dying. It's over. Everyone has. And then like they hit 26, like, oh shit, no, it's growing. Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, I mean, I would have to say it's growing when you're seeing like e-bike and stuff move more stores. Everything's now coming from the East Coast and the West Coast, and it's slowly getting in the middle, because that's how I started. Here in the Midwest, because I live here in Wisconsin, Indiana, Illinois, it's where we stay. There was no promoters coming back then. Like, nobody gave a shit about it here in the Midwest, so us homegrown guys had to learn how to throw our own games.
Exactly what it was up here for us.
Yeah, and then I got lucky. My home field is Blast Camp up in Indiana. It's an old abandoned Nike missile base, so that was the first place that I started throwing games. And it's not real big. It's about 40 acres, but it's got 15 real buildings on it, a little bit of woods. It's good for the lunch guy that doesn't want to play for 12 hours.
Well, yeah, there's some guys where they want to take the breaks. They want to have like more casual games. For them, I think the game is almost more of a social experience than like they want to do the most intense, crazy game ever.
Gear Horde.
At that point, it's kind of like a Call of Duty game.
Yeah.
Where you jump in, you do your fun, everyone talks about what happens, everyone takes a breather for a bit, and then you jump into the next one. And there's nothing wrong with that at all.
No. I mean, as an airsofter, I play it all, man. I go to somebody's backyard to the fucking 6,000 acre fields. It doesn't matter to me. I like it all. As long as I get to shoot somebody. Right?
Hey, Eric.
I mean, I'm not very good, but...
Well, the Bob Ross approach, I'm not very good, but it doesn't matter.
My kills are all actually happy little accidents. So,
and I even count friendly fire kills in my chart just because it's all a number, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't die from friendly fire, so that counts too, right?
Yeah.
I say it counts, especially like what if that guy was annoying you, like Like what if it's Matt who like got 100 feet in front of me and I forgot, and then I'm like, oh well, it's Matt. Screw that guy.
Eric Dancy shoots me a lot. It's fucked up.
Or if your team's just not doing what you told them to do. Like I tell my guys when I'm commanded, you can die up front or you can die back here. Either way, you're going to die.
My brother in Christ, it is ball car. You're going to die.
You are going to die. So as we go here, Eric, I'm kind of keeping track of questions. Nothing too monumental yet, but I'll read them off here. We'll start with the easy one, but I think I'm the only answer here. Is what's everyone drinking tonight?
Polar seltzer.
Yeah, I've got the Genesee Kolsch. It's good stuff. Garrett's got water.
I got nothing actually, but I would have
OG Bush.
There you go.
Perfect. Good answer.
That counts.
That does count.
And the other one was, has Gun Gamers ever played at Blast Camp, hosted by Cobra?
I have not, and I want to get out to Cobra because interacting with. Do you prefer to go by Ryan or Tweenie on the podcast? Tweenie.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Go like interacting with Tweenie at games is great. So I want to go play some of those games. So that's going to be something I'm shooting to do. Hopefully, I want to see if I can make Op Freedom because I know Josh is going to play that as well. Hold on, let me show you a little something that we got here. If you're looking to go play at this is Black Ops Bristol,
yes.
I believe, and this is Op Freedom, June 10th to 11th. If you want to play against Josh Warren because he made you mad on the internet, you can go do that at any point.
Yeah.
And the weekend before that, we're going to Action Sports Wisconsin for our debut Midwest Game Incursion. And we've heard good things about Action Sports Wisconsin, so I'm really looking forward to hosting.
I've heard good things about them. I'm definitely going to come out there and support you guys. I'd love to play with you guys too, so we're definitely going to come out.
Dude, you are not buying tickets though. You're coming out. You're coming out. And you're just going to experience what we do and just have a blast.
Yeah, I'm down, and I've heard really good things about Action Sports. I've never made it up there myself, but I know it's a cool field. So, yeah, I'm excited about that. And then, like you said, we got Operation Freedom the next weekend afterwards. We got helicopters. We got like fucking 4 Humvees and a bunch of other trucks to run them around. It's 120 acres. It's the only game Josh comes and plays besides his own, right? So, if you're really pissed at him for all those years on the internet, this is the time to come show him that you can actually whoop his ass. If you're that bad,
well, and go work it out. Just get some TV time in and have fun.
That's what I say.
Or if you're like me, you're gonna want to go play with Josh because you never actually get to play with him.
There's that option too. Maybe you don't like me. I don't give a shit. In 18 years, I know I pissed some people off.
Nobody likes anybody on the internet.
Yeah, exactly. That's the best part of airsoft is everyone fights on the internet and then they show up to fields and forget about it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I've been in situations where I've been in arguments with somebody, then we both had to bleed out, and after like 3 minutes of looking at each other, we're like, why the fuck are we arguing? Like, it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, we're just grown men fighting over a kid's game, man. Just shut up and move on.
And that's what it is. Like, that's why, when I go to games now, I just try to keep a smile on my face all the time because I'm like, what do I care to argue about like any of this crap? Like, it's a game. I'm having fun. I'm out here because I'd rather be here than the office.
Yes. Yeah. I learned years ago, you go out, you don't care, and you don't get upset, because if I start yelling that some guy cheated or I start yelling, I'm the only person that gets pissed. The other guy doesn't give a shit at all. He goes back to his respawn or he moves on with his day, and now my day is going to be ruined because I got all heated. It's not worth it anymore.
Well, and also, one of the biggest lessons I think that a lot of players learn as they get older is benefit of the doubt. Because the number of times that I've had someone yell at me to call my hits when I could see their BBs falling in front of me is too high. Yep. And I know that I've been on the other end of that. So at this point, anytime I think I'm hitting someone and I don't think they called it, in my mind, I'm just like, listen, man, airsoft guns are bad, so I'm just going to assume I'm not hitting them.
Yes. I can't even count how many times I've reffed where you'll go stand behind somebody and they're like, I know I'm hitting that guy. I got a 12-power scope on my fucking gun, and it's dropping, like you said, 2 or 3 feet in front of them, and they're just irate. It's like, well, man, just because your scope sees times 12 doesn't mean your BB goes times 12.
I think that's a privilege you get from playing for long enough and having enough stuff that you've seen the pump action $20 try shot somehow hit a guy 100 yards and somehow the $1,000 HPA is dropping 50 feet out. It happens.
It happens.
Yeah, it's fucking wild. But what I think is interesting, contrasting though, like, we're talking about playing the game for so long and talk about, the Midwest, is it's so funny that you say no event promoters went out to the Midwest, where now I see like a few of those fields out in the Midwest seem to have a lot of games scheduled.
Yes.
And there's a lot going on. So it seems like that area is seeing a lot of growth.
It is now. And I mean, it's great for us because living here in the Midwest, I can go to East Coast or West Coast and make all those games. Where people from the East Coast to go all the way to the West Coast, that's some real travel, Oh, so yeah. We're in that sweet spot of it's, 12 to 18 hours to almost anywhere we want to go. And that's nice.
Yeah, it's actually not bad. Like for me, to go out to California, I can't do a trip out to California. That would take me 3 days.
Right.
Yeah. Whereas I can hop on a direct flight and, that makes life easier. But then I've got to make sure I've got somewhere to ship all my stuff because otherwise I got to bring it to the TSA and I don't want to do that.
Plus, you don't fly with your stuff. We fly with stuff all the time. Like when I went to Zaporizhia, we left out O'Hare. All we had was 3 suitcases of chemical suits, gas masks, and bomb-making material on our guns, a case of night vision, and they're like, "Yeah, go on through, gentlemen."
We had a guy bring back live airsoft grenades on his carry-on that no one said anything about.
By accident.
By accident.
Yeah.
By accident.
Not on purpose.
Yeah. He didn't do it on purpose.
He got home. He's like, "Holy shit!"
Wow.
The sad part is that's the second time it's happened to somebody in the group.
In just our group. Yeah.
Just our group.
The second time it happened to not the second time it happened to that
person,
guy.
No, not the second time for the same person, but it was definitely the second time.
Meanwhile, the TSA took Corey's fucking BBs out of his carry-on.
Well, BBs are a danger. You could use a straw, shoot someone.
Sure. Throw them on the ground. People might slip. You can take it.
I gotta give you this quick anecdote. It was back in college. Jim and I went out to Dick's Sporting Goods just to buy some BBs and stuff.
Sure.
We bought a box of shotgun ammo, just some shells for like targets, and then we bought a bottle of BBs while we were there. And we got ID'd for the BBs. I did not get ID'd for the shotgun shells. And I'm like, this is confusing.
Wow.
I remember going to like Gander Mountain or something
we're
buy.
getting real off topic here.
I'm sorry.
Circling back to specifically, because I actually see the chat is talking about how even like the local Midwest games though are really growing, and I mean, you know, as an event promoter in the Midwest, I mean, how would your numbers and your community involvement track from when you started to now?
Oh God, it's doubled, if not tripled in some games for sure. I mean, the average game used to be anywhere from 75 to 100 for the first 5 years, except for maybe a big event or something you threw. And nowadays I'm pulling 170 on shit days. Like we just had a game 2 weeks ago and we pulled 180 in, and it wasn't great weather, but people still came. Yeah. But I also don't do any games in the winter anymore. We take off December through February.
Yeah. We just hosted our first like really organized winter game, and we had over 100 players, which shocked me because it was -10.
Actually, what was impressive was how many people that bought tickets actually showed up. I had a bet basically running.
We had a single digit number of no shows.
Yeah, I thought we'd have like 25% no show. No, everyone came. That's crazy.
Nice. That is the one good thing I will say of being a promoter all the years is the pre-registrations. Like we used to do games with no pre-registration, and you just don't know how many people you're going to have. You don't know what you're going to need for staff, any of that. And so pre-registration has definitely helped us in life. And I do believe when people buy tickets, they're like, fuck it, I'm going no matter what.
Yeah. Well, because you spend $100-something on an event ticket and you're not going to go. Like, I've never understood that. Like, people no-show to MilSim West. And I'm like, dog, that ticket was like $200.
Yes. So I got some questions. I want to know a little bit about your guys' events. I did read your TAC ops, so I know that. And it looks like it runs 12 hours solid.
Yeah. So we run. We start at 11 a.m. after briefing and in processing, and so we start gameplay at 11, and then we go until 11 p.m. Nice. And we try to basically build like just a continuous evolving scenario, which moves throughout the day as much as possible and forces players to, even if they're on like a break back at the spawns are not permanent. Like those can get rolled at any point. So we like that even if like you want to take a break, you're still in the game.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah. So there is no breaking. Like I'm not going to the parking lot or anything like that.
Yeah, we try to encourage players, and again, if you need to go to your car and like swap guns because your gun broke, like, hey, tell the chain of command. We'll know that you're going. But we do really want players to be like, hey, don't go back to parking. Carry all the stuff you need all day and see how fun that is.
Sure. Yeah, don't go to your car and go to Burger King and come back and eat a milkshake in front of everybody and be like, ah.
Yeah. Well, because, we really got fond of the full immersion aspect of like MilSim West, where it's like, hey, you go out and you're out until if you go back to your car, you're out of the game at that point.
You're out. You're gone. Yeah. I've actually yelled at people for going to their cars at MSW.
Well, because you don't want people going to their fucking cars. Like the point is that you're supposed to challenge yourself.
Yeah, I mean, for a lot of the insurgencies, it's the ammo thing too, right? They don't want people sneaking in ammo because if everyone starts with 500 rounds or so, and then you got 3,000, fuck that. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make it fair.
Well, and that's the thing to me too, is like, that's part of also valuing the immersion. It's like, really, you're going to go like totally break the spirit of the game because you just feel like you should have more ammo than everyone. That's bullshit. That's not a good approach.
Well, especially with civilians only starting with like 10 or 15 rounds in the first place.
Yeah. That's the thing, is you really need to enforce that type of mechanism because, personally, I toyed with when we were building our rule set. I toyed with the idea of adding a clause that like, if you leave the field, you're done. But because we're hosting in like a little bit of a more casual type of audience, because we're trying to do that outreach, we want to be like an in-between point where you come out, you try us out, and you see how cool staying in the game is. And then, maybe you're more ready for something that's full immersion or crazy, or maybe you're a guy who loves that full immersion stuff, but you need something, you know, a little closer to home at a local field, or you want a different fix when MilSim West isn't in town.
Sure. Well, I mean, I think what you guys are doing is a nice niche in between airsoft and MilSim, right? Because a lot of people don't get that there are way fucking different. You know, airsoft's got breaks. I'm going to go eat, you know, slushies and hot pretzels at lunch, and I'm going to go use a real bathroom. A lot of people assume MilSim is just an airsoft game, and it's not. I mean, we all know there's only one true MilSim, right?
Oh yeah, there is only one true MilSim, and you know, part of that is because the airsoft market has for so long, I hate to say diluted the word MilSim to the point where it really doesn't mean anything. Like now you've got guys who are like, yeah, I'm on a MilSim team, but they literally don't go to even like casual MilSim games. Like it's like you just go to your local field and play capture the flag, and you're like, yeah, we're a MilSim team, and I'm like, but MilSim's a game format, and this is not that game format.
Yeah. Yeah. No, for sure. For sure.
Yeah. So we're trying to. I think the future of like a lot of airsoft games as well is leaning into the fact that it's a little bit of a LARP, and you want people to feel like they're immersed in that type of scenario to have that continuous experience. And that's where I think we come from as like a game design perspective, is a little bit less traditional airsoft and a little bit closer to almost a tabletop mentality sometimes. And I know that you and Josh did a campaign for a while, so I know you're familiar with what I'm talking about.
Yes, I am a big nerd on and off the field, right? I still play D&D, Warhammer. I got Star Wars collections. I mean, here you go. Here's the USS flag still set up, right?
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm a big nerd.
Yeah, and that's where we come from, is like with that nerd stuff. And actually that inspires a follow-up question I have for you, is like what is, you know, was that something you got into like on its own? Was that like what how did you get into airsoft as like another extension of that nerd stuff?
I'll say especially
okay, so the way I started, and again, we're going way back now. We're talking, God, 98, 99. We were on the forums, if people ever remember forums. And we met some person. We met some person that was like, hey, man, come out, play airsoft with us. We'll give you some gear. We showed up, and they had some weird rule back in the day where you had to be a team. And so all these people were in their teams like real shit, you know what I'm saying? And we were like, this is a game to us. We're going to be fucking Cobra, the most evil organization in the fucking world, to take it over. And it just kind of took off from there. Just like anytime I go, I always play bad guys wherever I go. It doesn't matter. I'm not a good person.
Well, you know, that's a lot of fun though. I mean, I relate to that. I've done bad guy stuff with like the survival mega games a lot. And I feel like Wolf Cola has a bit of a chaotic evil vibe to it at this point.
No, we have there's no controversy. We're very legitimate.
We're very legitimate.
Listen, Wolf Cola is just in another round of corporate restructuring.
Yeah,
definitely unrelated to any controversial actions at Zaporizhia.
Circling back to that though, being like an ambiguous villain is so much fun. Like you start out very neutral, like you interacting with people, you could be standoffish a little bit, and then you have one interaction where you're like, all right, time to flip the switch, and it just becomes pure chaos. It's phenomenal.
But yeah, I was gonna say, Twinny, you know, continue on, because I feel like I cut you off in the middle of the story here.
Oh yeah, no worries. I do have a question for your guys' game. Now, do you guys do 2 teams, or is there like role players involved, or how does that work?
So for right now, I will just say, like, flat out, our games are an evolving format, because my goal is not to run the same game for 5 years, if you know what I mean.
Sure.
So right now we've got 2 factions primarily. We have occasional third-party elements that might show up to complicate certain scenarios if we think that that'll benefit it.
Sure.
But generally speaking, we just do 2 factions, and it's we're focusing this year on the more force on force wargaming style. And what I want to do long term is have, more event formats as well that we can do new and different ideas and try to develop out in all kinds of different ways.
Yeah, I mean, I've done everything over the years. We used to do big zombie games, man, where you would be in an 8-man squad and have to go against 180 to 190 zombies and go search the field. And we had a haunted house on the same field, so we had a lot of real cool stuff that we could use. And we'd make you go dig through guts and pull a radio and then find the next map point and then run out there all in the dark, right? You didn't get to do this in the daylight.
That sounds
hell
awesome.
Yes. And no night vision, because that would be for cowards at a zombie game.
Yeah. I mean, a normal game, I don't see too many people with nods. Not like I do at big events, right? You'll get out of 400 people, you might have 5 or 6 that have nods. Where at 400 people at a big MilSim like MSW, 380 of them got them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's really gone off the deep end lately. It's like 60% of people now have them.
Yes, but it's a lot more affordable now too, right? You can spend $2K and get something that you can at least play with, right?
Dude, I got my PVS 14 for $1,100.
Right. You got it before everyone freaked out. How dare you?
Yeah, I've got I got some L3 blue phosphorus that are coming in this week, so I'm excited.
Nice.
Garrett only has enough to arm all of Gun Gamers or something like that. Yeah, there it is.
Notice the relative size of the bin compared to everything else.
I got lucky, and one of the kids that worked for me for years went and opened a night vision company.
Nice.
Oh, no shit. Nice.
He was one of the guys that helped kill you guys. He was with me as Zaporizhia.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, dude, Zaporizhia was so good. That's airsoft at its best for me.
You know what? I thought that was one of the best insurgencies because there was a lot of push and pull from Rust 4, and I felt like as a civilian, I was in the middle of a real fucking war, right? One day you'd look out and the Russians would have the point, and then 2 hours later, NATO would take it over, and they just kept fighting, and I always felt like I was in the middle of a real war there. It was just really cool.
Well, you always want to stay in someone's good graces, but you never know whose good graces you should be staying in at that minute. Because power was shifting back and forth so much. It was good.
Yeah.
We went to deliver cola out to one of the outposts, and we're like, oh, we'll take it for Rust 4. And all it was Rust 4 bodies and some NATO had just taken it. We're like, no, we're bringing it for NATO. What's up, man?
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Yeah, I mean, I hope they go back there. I would assume they're going back there.
Yeah.
But we'll have to wait and see because MSW doesn't announce a year in advance, right? So,
yeah, that's an interesting strategy that they do. And actually, I wanted to get your thoughts on this because you posted a full event schedule, right?
Yeah, I put a full year up.
Yeah. So is Freedom your next game, or do you have another game coming up before that?
I actually have another game May 19th, which is Conflicts 9, and that's at my home field blast camp, the Nike Missile Base. This is our third 2-day game that we've built over the 18 years, and this is the 9th year we're doing it. And that normally averages out between 300 and 400 players.
That's pretty
which
good.
Is good for a 40-acre field, right? You start to get so many, it's like, man, so we do cap tickets on that.
Yeah. Yeah, we capped tickets on our action sports game as well. And actually we capped tickets at all of our games because we're like, just in case sales run crazy, we don't want to put this over where things are going to go nuts.
Yes, or you get too many people to sign up for one team and then you don't want one side lopsided because out of all my events, I don't handicap shit. If you get your ass whooped and put in a spawn, that's what the fuck you did. Straight up, we don't play that bullshit. We're not like, hey, you guys got to move back and you got to do this. You know what? Fight it out, man. Figure it out.
I'll tell you what, it is shocking to me how little players bitch about spawn camping when you tell them explicitly your spawn is not safe.
You can't camp a spawn that can just be deleted.
Right.
So that was our solution to that. It's like, listen, I don't want to have to police spawn camping or whatever. I don't want to have to play that bullshit. So how about your spawn is just not safe, and if all of your spawns get wiped, then you're just gonna have to reinsert into the facility and figure it out.
Oh, and on top of that, you have to carry everything for your spawn too.
Nice.
I got a question.
I was gonna say, Tweenie, I don't know if you've seen in our rule set, we have a 5-gallon jug of water. We have a radio beacon that is the spawn beacon. Is there something else? I'm trying to remember.
There's the clay pigeon holder
that
you have to connect to the spawn beacon, and that's got a clay pigeon on. That's 6 feet tall, and it can get shot out.
You know what? We use clay pigeons all the time. Like I will, because snipers always want missions, right? And it's to just give them a mission of a person to go get them. So what we'll do is we will go hide clay pigeons on buildings up on 2 and 3 stories up in the air, or put them in enemy spawns. So then the snipers have to get them.
Yeah,
that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and it gives the snipers a mission to where maybe you don't want to get people. Maybe you do want to lay in your ghillie suit that you spent all that time making and just sit there and actually stalk shit. Then it allows you to do that.
Oh, yeah. At Overture, I told my first sniper team, I was like, you guys wanted your mission. You just got to go around, do a wide flank, and you just go take out some of those spawns. I was like, would that be something you're interested in? Just shit-eating grin, ear to ear, just... Yeah.
Was that Sisu and her crew?
No, Sisu had to deliver a whole bunch of fake money across the field successfully after several hours.
Successfully.
Took hours, but it got there.
I actually have a really interesting question here, talking about game scenarios and stuff like that. This is from Darkstar Chat. He asks, do y'all's promoters see night vision and night ops in the future, or that is part of the game requirements?
No, because it's too expensive.
Yeah.
That's the point where the barrier to entry is so expensive that a person, like our rental package is a perfect example. It's what, $200, $250? That is everything that you need to play at a Gun Gamers production game. It does not include night vision. It includes a white light. It does not include night vision.
And our rental package is, I think it's actually cheaper than that. But
is it cheaper than that?
Yeah, I'd have to look, but I do think it's cheaper. But that's the thing. You can do night games without night vision, but if you made it required, night vision would have to be way cheaper than it is if we were to require it.
Yes, I've done a couple games where I required tracers for all the people and then sold tracers to people, TM tracers, at cost for $65, and I couldn't get everybody to even buy fucking tracers.
Yeah, Kyle points out our player rental package is $100.
Oh, okay.
$250.
But separate from that, though, I actually see an alternate reality for the night vision requirements thing. I actually think we might see more games that prohibit night vision.
Yes, I could see somebody coming and doing that for sure. I could easily. I'd say this: I'd like to eliminate white flashlights and just choke everybody who has one that has to carry the light of God on them when they walk through.
Well, that's the thing, is right. White light has its place for night fighting, but people over rely on it. To my mind, the only occasion to use white light during night fighting is when you are shooting at the enemy, because at that point, you're just illuminating where you're shooting and you're trying to illuminate that enemy position. But you have to also do it where you don't have any of your friendlies in front of you. So you have to be on the front lines to make that work.
Correct.
Yeah. That's the big thing that I think a lot of people get caught up in with night vision or with night fighting, is they think, oh, well, if I don't have night vision, I can't be effective. But then I just talked about intelligent white light use, and they're like, oh, I didn't know any of that. It's like, yeah, you have to research and figure it out.
The other thing that I think people get caught up in too is, okay, now that I have night vision, I need to go buy a laser to put on my rifle. Absolutely not necessary at all.
We ban lasers, period, in all my games. They're just done. I don't care. I had too many people giving the wish dot laser trying to fucking burn the moon. And it's just, they have no laser discipline. Nobody's got special goggles for the lasers. So I'm not about to I've already had people shoot their eyes out on my field. So we had a kid one time. This is the best story. He's about 25 years old. He's got his water bottle and his pistol in his hand, right? So he's got like his water bottle. He goes to take a drink and squeezes the water bottle, puts the barrel up underneath, shoots his fucking eye out.
Oh God!
We put him in the ambulance, and he's screaming, "I shot my own eye!" And we're all recording it, going, "You keep saying that all the way to the hospital. You ain't suing us."
Yeah, I mean that's what it is. Unfortunately,
Also,
I mean, to my knowledge, he still has one eye.
In my experience, like 90% of airsoft injuries are caused by the player themselves. Like someone else didn't hurt someone. They did something dumb and now they're hurt. Like every time.
I've never been injured by another player at an airsoft game.
No, just God hating your knees.
Yes.
I had a tagging round knock a kid out once. Oof. I had a Reaper round hit a kid right in the head, and he had a helmet, and he was out cold.
Well, he should have had a better helmet.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a guy at, I think it was at Grozny. He got hit like it was one of the direct impact ones. It hit him in the belly. He had like really nasty like scarring and whatnot for a while before it finally like cleared up.
It was a deep, nasty bruise with like a couple of little burns. So yeah, that took a little while, but even then, like, the most dangerous part of airsoft is rarely anything that any of us are shooting at each other. It's your own negligence if you're not like doing things correctly, like say you're putting an airsoft gun barrel under your eye pro trying to drink water.
Pickup truck.
Or what was? Oh yeah, or if you're sitting in a pickup truck, incorrectly.
Ooh. Yeah, Mr. Warren says it best, man. Vehicles are the most dangerous thing. I don't give a shit. I agree with him on that.
Yeah, that's actually why we're for Ascension, our game where we're debuting our vehicle rules. We are requiring all vehicles to have a staff member riding shotgun.
There you go. Yeah, that's a good idea, man.
Things a lot more in check.
Yeah, there is going to be a vehicle cap as a result because we can't have infinite vehicle staff. But
the cap is only.
You know what we did? And I get you but we'll make them just have a walker with that's not a player. They don't get to play the game, and then they have to staff their own vehicle. But I do think that gets a little dicey too, just because if you don't know the guy, in all reality, you just don't know how he's going to act, right? Plus, he came with that vehicle, so he might, look the other way on certain things for his buddies.
And that's the thing, right? Airsoft, like, all of this is about like the level of trust you can put in players as well. So I'll say that if players want less of these restrictions to feel necessary from promoters, then players should work to make this a high trust environment.
Garrett, I got a quick question for you. What was the game that you got Jet in the head with your tag launcher?
That was Caspian Breakout.
Okay,
yeah,
you can move on. Someone was asking.
Someone was asking
that video.
Yeah. So Jet has it as grenade launcher headshot. It's 2/3 to 3/4 of the way in is when it actually happens. You can actually see you getting shot by him.
I am aware. He zoomed in on it. It was really nice.
Shortly after that, he went to do a reload, and you see the grenade explode like right here in his helmet cam view. And I remember seeing two dudes in where he was at.
No, you definitely got him. That was you.
That was, yeah.
But
sorry, Jet.
You could have shot that, I don't know, 15 seconds earlier. Thanks, man. Good call.
Well, Lutz, personally, every time I see you getting shot on camera, it just makes me smile a little harder.
There's so many of those videos. I've never claimed to be good at airsoft.
Oh, this is where you need that video reel ready just to bring up where he's dying like 10 times.
Oh, dude, I will work on it. We're trying to up our professional media quality. So
yeah.
And actually, that's something that I think we've seen so much with airsoft change, and I'm curious to get your thoughts on this as well, Tweenie. Is like player generated media has gotten so much more prolific.
Yes. So two sides to this. Like,
yeah.
I enjoy watching people's videos that show me the field, show me the kind of game they're playing, and just a little more than I don't want to see just a barrel cam sitting in a fucking bush, right? I don't want to just watch somebody looking down their M4 AK the whole time. Like, I want them to tell me about the game because it's a good way to do research. If I want to go to Bellahack or somewhere in California or somewhere in Iowa, and I've never been there, I can go look at some of these guys' so when it comes to just shooting people and the kill cams, I could care less. Like the Kicking Mustang, I can't stand his shit.
Yeah, that's definitely not my niche.
I'm not saying he's a good, I don't care about him. I've never met him. I don't know anything about him, but his style of video, which is always clickbait and just always dumb shit, I don't care for. Like, I mean, I'm really a fan of Jet's videos because I get all that information, right? He'll tell you how players are there. He'll show you an aerial view. He'll show you other stuff than just him sitting in a fucking bush.
Well, and the other thing I like about Jet's approach to gameplay videos as well is a lot of it will feature like an element to it that he's going to highlight, like
sure.
the gameplay video, like the gameplay is almost one of the features, and then it'll also be like, hey, this is the gun I'm using, here's how it did.
Right.
No.
Yes.
Yeah,
no.
I like his videos where he does something that's straight out of the box. Like, here's my initial impression and everything, and then like probably the last quarter of the video is him actually using it and how well it did, like a couple of times.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you. That straight out of the box is great because the average player isn't buying a $2,000 gun when they play, right? They're not coming in and buying a Tackleberry PTW or some shit, right? They're buying that $200 or $300 gun and learning to play with that,
Or in this day and age, we have $500 AEGs that are commonplace now.
Yes. I loved it when they came out with the sport line or the budget line stuff because that's when Airsoft blew up. When they started making, because like I said, when I got in, it was Classic Army and Tokyo Maru, and they were $350, $400, right? That was it. Yeah. They made other guns, but they weren't worth playing for. They just sucked.
Yeah, that's the big thing too, is like the cost of guns came down, and I think like the quality of gun that you get for that beginner tier of $200 to $300, that gun has gotten a lot better than it used to be.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I would agree.
Yeah, and it's been crazy to watch like that disparity grow. But then there's actually an interesting take here in the chat that I'm curious how that relates. Because Ho Ching Yung says that YouTube is hurting the industry very heavily, though, especially reviews. And I don't know if I agree with that entirely.
So social media with Airsoft is a fickle sword because like we've had our Facebook and our Instagrams for 14 years and I have more people that like my shit than follow, which makes no sense because you have to follow it to like it.
Yeah.
It doesn't even, and we have been suppressed. I can tell on the social medias because I've never paid for anything to boost my shit, right? It's all natural. I don't care. I'm not going to pay to get somebody to go look at my page, right? I'm just going to, if they figure it out, they go. So the social media is definitely, I see in the next 4 or 5 years, all of Airsoft content being put on private websites. It's just going to get bad, man, because they're getting so against guns for some odd reason.
Well, and that's the thing is I almost wonder if a part of it is, I hate to say it, a part of it might be the approach because Airsoft is tied so closely to the firearms industry. And I almost wonder if there's a little bit of necessity to try to differentiate ourselves more so that we have like a greater understanding from, hopefully, as Airsoft gets more mainstream. I mean, there was a South Park episode on Airsoft. Like, we've never been in that position
that day.
Industry.
You got to see this. You got to see this.
That episode did my heart good. So it was fun.
That was a really enjoyable episode.
But my point is that Airsoft is like on the precipice of being more mainstream than it's ever been. And, right now, like the biggest games are like all MilSim games and whatnot. But I kind of hope that as we continue to grow, we can try to explore more genres and almost differentiate ourselves more from just being like a bunch of gun dudes who like play a game for training or whatever. And we also can be like, hey, yeah, we're like a bunch of dorks doing this dorky live action nerd hobby. And I'm hoping that we can try to start getting that angle to get a little bit more mainstream attention, because then that'll help. You know, airsoft, again, will always be tied to the firearms industry, and there's no way to undo that. But hopefully we can also introduce that angle that gives that additional context so that people aren't like just thinking it's just diet threepers.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, even with like I used to go to SHOT Show a bunch for years, and I remember when airsoft was like shoved in a corner in the back of the bottom level of SHOT Show, and now they've got their own floor and all kinds of shit.
Yeah, there's
so it's definitely getting bigger.
Yeah, and I think like YouTube does like to demonetize, and a lot of the algorithms do suppress the shareability of a lot of the content. But at the end of the day, like Blue Jean Operator, his channel blew up, and he's got like a lot of subscribers now in a relatively short amount of time, and he's the most demonetizable content possible. So like clearly there's a level of quality and an approach to finding a niche that can be very successful still, even in a demonetized state. And that just means you have to find alternate ways to monetize, essentially, which is, to put it frankly, that was part of why we started Gun Gamers Productions. So I think that's one of those things that also needs to be considered. Is like, okay, let's say we're demonetized. Well, what do we do about it? And in the absence of a major competitor to these platforms, if a major competitor can gain traction, obviously that'll cause people to hop. But it has yet to happen because the audience is on YouTube.
Yeah, you are seeing some of the real gun guys right now coming over, and hey, airsoft is a good training tool and all that, which is, I'm not even going to get into that animal, but you are seeing, the Travis Haleys and some of these guys show up. The only thing I've ever thought it was good for training is literally where you put your gear, like where your mags are, where your fucking pen is.
I'm not personally a fan of the airsoft as training angle, just because like to me it misses the point. Like the idea that everything has to be training for some hypothetical war that you think is coming, to me misses out on the idea of living life for the sake of living life and enjoying what you're doing. Like,
I'll go play an airsoft game like a video game, right? Airsoft like a video game or a Dungeons and Dragons game. It's something you go play to do.
It could be the same for me. I would die in both. So
train how you fight, brother. How you fight is dying horribly.
Well, we're Cobra, so all we do is retreat. You know what I'm saying? We're just running away.
We'll get you next time, G.I. Joe. Dude, G.I. Joe themed games, though. You done those yet or not?
Of course. That's basically is what freedom is.
Hell yes.
That's amazing.
Because, okay, so years ago when we started Cobra, we did get a cease and desist letter from Hasbro, and they're like, okay, you can't use our Cobra symbols. So that's when we went and redesigned it. I sent it back to them, and they're like, okay, you can use that. So instead of calling it a G.I. Joe game, we call it Freedom. They're the Joes, we're Cobra, and let's fucking go. Now, dress-up-wise, like, we used to get a lot of people that would dress up and put costumes on for our games. It seems to have died in the last 4 or 5 years. They just don't get into it as much.
Eric,
I don't know why.
That's very our thing.
Yeah, I'm really hoping I can go. I have to double check a family commitment. But if I'm clear from the family commitment, I'll be able to go. So I gotta double check.
Let me know, man. All you guys will be in. That's no worries.
Dude, I will 100% dress like a G.I. Joe character or Cobra, like depending which side we go. I will do it.
Here you go.
Oh, what are you getting?
Wait, did you see the chat?
Oh, yeah, hold on. We got Matt from Engage Tactical, a Gun Gamers industry partner, by the way. He is 1,000% coming out as Shipwreck.
Oh, love that.
That is amazing.
Dude. Nice.
That's my Destro helm. I got Cobra helm. I mean, I've got the full Cobra Commander suit, dude. I was wearing that back in '99 cosplaying.
No shit.
I got the hood. I got the chrome dome. Here, I'll go grab it.
God, you're an OG nerd. I love it.
Hey, while he's gone real quick, let me just point out from way earlier, Airsoft in Connecticut said, Garrett, we miss you. Your AG-36 is getting cold. Please come home.
It's not cold. I'm taking very good care of it.
Also, people have pointed out that Garrett is just passively advertising for his niche impression groups behind him here. He's got KVB bottleneck. Keg is out of view, but it's right here. And actually, I have two for Keg. They're both out of view, unfortunately. I see you got some Canadian up on the side.
No.
Look right. It said Canadian.
That's World War II Canadian. That's why there's a gap there. I need to put World War II there.
Oh man.
We are here to take over the world.
Yes.
That is
motherfucker, man.
That's amazing.
Does that thing stop BBs?
No, I wouldn't. It cost me too much to bring out there.
Fair enough.
You have to wear for the briefing, though, right?
Oh, yeah, I'll wear them for the briefing, or if I'm sitting back at the base or something where I'm probably not getting shot, it doesn't bother me, Most of the time, we just wear the blue commish, though.
Yeah. Oh, that's the cool part is Cobra had the drip.
Yeah.
No offense, G.I. Joe, but Cobra had the drip.
They did. Everybody had their own outfit there.
We have a question from the chat. I'm just going to address real quick that says, when is the AK Mag video dropping? And the answer is when Lane's done editing it. So we'll figure it out.
Lane's making our videos look good. So let that happen.
But you said that people don't really get into the costuming aspect anymore, though, right?
Not as much, man. We used to give away prizes and stuff. It just depends, man. Like the next game I got coming up is April 15th. It's a Vietnam style game. I hope people dress up like it, but it's just hit or miss. And half the time, all you got to do is go buy a straw hat, right? Or wear green, one of the two. It ain't real fucking complicated.
Yeah, or wear a Chi-Com and use an underfolder like a real king.
Right.
You guys need more groups out there that are absolutely ridiculous about stuff. Gun gamers, like 4 to 5 times a year, someone's like, you know what the cool drip would be? Let's do Tiger Stripe. Everyone buys Tiger Stripe. Someone's like, you know what I miss? Bull Pups. That's the current one. I think 8 guys are like, I'm not buying a bull pup.
Do not buy Bull Pups, the 2023 Gun Gamers meme. I refuse.
They all want them,
Bull Pups.
They all want them.
Nobody wants impressions. So I have to get an L85 now.
Everyone.
Hold on. We got a question here for Tweenie specifically. The question here for Tweenie is going to be about Red Snapper on the 15th of April. What is that?
Red Snapper is the Vietnam game that I was just talking about.
Okay.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yep. Red Snapper. Yes.
So
Red Snapper was actually, it's at Black Ops, the same place we're doing against Josh Warren. Normally Freedom was in April. Last year we did a 3-day game and the field got flooded and I'm 6'2", 6'3", and the water was up to my nips.
Ooh.
So we moved the game into June now because up here in the Midwest, it just gets too nasty in April. So that's why we're like, well, fuck it. Let's do a Vietnam style game. So if it rains, you're kosher.
If it's Vietnam, it's going to be wet all the time.
Right.
All right.
Like I'm still trying to figure out a way that I can take pool noodles and make punji pits. I just haven't figured that out yet.
Ooh. That would be interesting. Or like some of those spring-loaded claymores.
Yeah. We've done, again, when you were using the clay pigeons, we've done those as landmines. And you'll spray paint them to match the grass and then set them out. You tell players, hey, if you step on an asshole, you're dead. Will somebody cheat? Somebody always cheats.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, like the point is that you're all playing a fun game. So honestly, I hate to say it, I almost don't get that mad when people cheat because it's not worth it.
We use clay pigeons at World War II things for landmines too.
Yeah, and the thing, like I tell my guys, if they run through a minefield, you're going to step on it. If you walk through and look, you'll probably see it and be able to go around it.
Yep. And that's always the thing is you got to that encourages that intelligent play. So that's a good system. I actually think, because we're coming up on an hour here now. So I think now's going to be a good time to take some questions and then start wrapping it up. So we've already had a bunch of good questions from the chat. But while we're waiting on some questions, what's the best place everyone can find you? Because you don't have a YouTube presence, right? Or do you?
I do have a YouTube, but we don't make videos like, say, General Fonz does. Like, a lot of the videos is me dead, laying somewhere, and then I pull out my phone and record it.
Okay, that sounds sick. So I want to subscribe. So where do I find that?
Cobra Airsoft Legion, YouTube, Facebook, fucking Instagram, you name it, man. It's all the same.
Hell yeah. I've actually got links to a bunch of Cobra Airsoft. Well, actually, no, I have links to your website, which has all of that stuff, and your Facebook. So I've got that in the description of this right now if you want to follow Cobra Airsoft Legion. And you should go shoot with or against Josh Warren at Op Freedom, because honestly, like when you play with him in real life, Josh is the nicest damn person. I love it.
Yeah.
He is too. I've had people that are like, he's not the asshole that I met online. I'm like, it's online, bro.
Yeah, it's the internet. It's not that deep.
So yeah, and we are also doing at both of my games this year for $10. My buddy that owns a night vision company, VC Optics, we are doing a night vision raffle for $10 to off for some PVS 14s.
Wow,
that is awesome.
And you don't have to be present to win. You can go on our Facebook page, log into the code, buy your ticket. It'd be nice if you were there, right? Because we can give it to you that day. And we're also going to do the raffle on Saturday night so you can win the unit to actually fucking play with it at a night game versus Sunday, and now you just got to take it home.
Man, that is...
Because I've always hated raffles. Like Sunday when I get up to talk in front of 200 or 300 people, nobody wants to stand around. Nobody wants to hear me, you know? So I've tried to do raffles at Saturday and shit.
Hot take, though. Giving night vision to someone brand new to night vision right before he steps off. Almost mean. That dude's going to eat it 3 times right now.
Well, hey, it's the same if they rent. And honestly, that's something I want to go off on for a second is the raffles, because I could not agree more, Tweenie. I am not a raffle guy. Raffles bore me to tears.
Eric, what did you raffle off at our AAR this last time? That was hilarious.
I raffled off the broken rental gun because at attrition, right? It was -10. So the guy who rented the gun we had pulled the trigger on the rental, and I swear to God, I wouldn't believe this if someone hadn't been there to see it. Didn't even drop the gun or anything. He pulled the trigger, and the spring pressure blew the whole back of the body and gearbox out.
He handed it to me. He sees me as staff. He's like, hey, something's wrong with this gun. And I took it and I go, no, that's just dead. There's no that's gone.
Yeah, I think
that was in a stock gun?
Yeah. Totally stock classic Army sport line.
Polymer body. Polymer body didn't do well in the fall.
Yeah.
But it also blew the back end of the gearbox out too.
Dude, the back end of that gearbox was so thin, though.
I don't have a good review for that gun.
No, so if you were using that in an event, would you have called yourself out? I would have. I'd have been like, my gun just fucking
that poor guy did not even make it to spawn. He was about 50 yards from spawn.
Yeah, we literally hadn't started the game yet.
Yep.
Yeah, it was rad. So we wound up handing him off a SIG MCX instead, and that ran all day, so that was good.
Hey, I got a couple questions here. One is Engage Tactical. Matt Haythere's asking Tweenie if he can offer you a chest rig for a raffle prize for the Freedom game.
100%. 100% you can. I mean, that's the only way I get stuff. We've always just been a small crew, so I don't have millions of sponsors because I don't have a store. People don't like to give a shit, right? Like if I had a storefront where I sold stuff, then e-bike and all them will say, oh, you spent 10 grand, we'll give you this. They don't give a shit and the funny thing is, we're the guys you want to give it to. You know how many phone calls and emails I get a week on what shit to buy?
Oh, dude. Yeah.
You know, when I'm at a game and there's 400 players, if I stand up there and tell them to buy something, I bet 300 of them will go do it.
I mean, literally right here, we have a perfect example of Gibby asking for GGP events, what are recommendations on backpacks and storage gear? So it's like exactly what you're talking about. They know that you see so much stuff and like it's your game. So like you're the guy who's probably going to know what works.
Yep. I've had a couple companies, Wolverine, Polar Star, they've always been really cool towards us and not cared that we didn't sell their shit. And they've always sent us a couple things. X-Fog has always been cool. But we actually helped test some of the original X-Fogs where they were making them, because he's from where my home field is. He lives right up there.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah, so of course at
Yeah,
that
Aaron.
point, it's like, but speaking of that question, I also want to actually answer, and the answer is going to be something along the lines of a small assault pack and a good sized chest rig.
Yeah,
I would say a
didn't wanna
one
brush
day.
past that without answering.
Right, no, a 1 day pack. Chest rig wise, I guess nowadays, I mean, do you want to go super heavy like the old schools, or do you want to go super lightweight? I guess that's kind of going to be a your call thing.
Have you
On
seen
how you
that
play.
Flat Attack Peacekeeper Mark V chest rig?
it's
No.
a very specific thing to ask.
That is
Oh,
very
God.
specific.
It's
Yeah,
just
no,
on
I haven't
my
seen it.
brain because it's the coolest goddamn chest rig to come out in the last like 10 years for me, and I want one so bad.
Is it the Mark
Oh.
Mark IV?
It's the one that's got 3 mag cells with a utility pouch under it, 2 fields of Molly, and then 2 utility pouches that can hold Nalgene's. And if you want to know what macro rig will absolutely sustain you for 12 hours, it's something like that just carries all of your shit. And you don't have to worry about anything.
Holy tool belt, Batman.
Yeah, it's great.
What
Macro
else?
chest rigs for life.
What else would work too is one of those LBX lock and loads.
Yeah, or like a 1961 from LBT if you can get one of those
Yep.
cheap. Oh God, I got a question for you, Tweenie. Plate carrier or chest rig?
Oof. I normally run a plate carrier. Right now I'm running an LBX gray because I really love the Coyote gray. That's kind of my go-to when I go places that don't have to wear a uniform. I like the Coyote gray. Solid gray. I've been using that for years now. I mean, my gun is fucking blue, right? I mean, why wouldn't it be? It's Cobra. You know what I'm saying?
What
Like,
gun is
people are,
that?
how do you hide in blue camo? And I'm like, real easy. I just fucking lay down.
Go prone, unkillable.
But if I have a choice, depending on the game I'm playing, I may not wear a chest rig at all. I'll wear a battle belt with fucking 4 or 5 mags on it, 2 grenades, 2 smoke bombs, and go.
Yeah, belt kit's underrated.
Yeah, it is. Especially if I'm playing like a real MilSim game where I don't need 12 mags on me, right? You just don't. You don't need them.
Yeah, at that point it's like, I'm only gonna get 500 BBs, so I can grab like 3 mags, and that's it.
Yeah,
I
even 5
love-
mags is a lot.
I love passing BBs 2 out there, and people just look at you with like the saddest faces.
We've had a couple of people when they do check in. You know, you sign the waiver, you do chrono, and then we give them their issued ammo after chrono, and they take the bag and they look at it. They look back at you and they say, "Is this it?" I'm like, "That's all you need."
Right. That's what everyone else has.
That's what everyone starts with.
I'm going to start handing it and just go, this should last you till 6 p.m. Just see how it
when,
handles
Don't do
it.
that.
when we were at the Zaporizhian one, we were literally taking the bottles and I was pouring them in a cap and being like, here's your BBs.
Oh my God.
They were crying.
Oh my God, that's evil. That's a real level of evil. Maybe
Hey,
if you
I'm
do,
just
like,
doing
a
what my boss told me to do.
Oh my God, and Tweenie, you're gonna enjoy this.
Yeah, I'm trying to
The
get
Chest
to
Rig Engage Tactical wants to send you as a raffle prize for Op Freedom is very on brand. It is the red, white, and blue G-Gar Plus.
Yes. Please. Please.
Yeah, the
Hell
G-Gar,
yeah.
for context, is a chest rig that we developed in cooperation with Engage Tactical. It's been a back and forth for a long time, and sometimes really weird versions get made, and I think the red, white, and blue is absolutely the version that should go out to Op Freedom.
it.
Goddamn right it is.
That thing is hilarious. I think he made one a while ago, and it was beautiful. He's done that and his weird NASA one, and both are hilarious.
Man, this almost makes me horny.
Oh man. Well, we are coming
I have
up
to
on
answer one specific question.
What's up?
Let's see if I can. It's not working. Hold on. So Ho Ching Yung,
Yeah, Ho Ching
Probably-
Yung.
he asked, "Is the BB test results still coming out?" The answer is yes. The results are compiled. I have to film the 2 videos for it. One will be
believe
going.
it when I see it, Garrett.
Shush.
That video has been vaporware for like 4 years, Garrett.
It is probably the largest spreadsheet I've ever built. There are no less than 100 graphs to go through.
Wow.
Yeah.
Garrett actually last filmed that when he had hair. So it's been a minute.
I don't think I've ever had hair ever since I've known you guys.
No, it's okay. I'm starting to lose mine, so
Like-
we'll be brothers soon enough.
Like, there's not much left.
All right. Anyway,
But yes, it is coming. I know I've said that now it was my pandemic project, so it's been a few years.
Well,
But
we're still in the pandemic, right?
yeah, I was gonna say, technically, the pandemic's not really over. So
So you haven't failed. You're just not real fast.
Yeah, you're just waiting until the last drop of COVID is off of the earth before you release the video.
maybe that's the secret to the end. I am perpetuating.
Oh,
You heard it here first, guys. Garrett from Gun Gamers is single-handedly keeping COVID-19 on this planet by not releasing the BB test.
Oops.
oh, fuck Garrett.
No, I have the charts are done. I need to sit down to film it.
All right. Well, you know what's at stake, so get on it.
Yeah, I will immediately get on it so that way I can bring the world back to peace.
Anyway, I feel like this is a good time to wrap it up. But Tweenie, I'm going to give you the last word. Do you have what do you have to say that you want the audience to hear?
Happy birthday, Gary.
Hey, classy.
Otherwise, yeah, just go check out our events, man. Check us out at Cobra Airsoft Legion. Like I said before, go check out Freedom. We are definitely coming to your guys' game up here at Action Sports. So if you don't make either one of my games and you still want to come play with us, come play with these guys and us at Action Sports. And the date for that is, what's the June date on that? It's the week before the 10th for your game.
Yeah, June 3rd, 2023.
And tickets are available for that now, correct?
Yeah, tickets are available on our website. You can find the links, gungamersproductions.com. It's right there at the bottom.
Sweet.
Hell yeah. So, Tweenie, I really want to thank you for coming on. This has been a real treat. This has been a lot of fun. And
thanks for having me, man. Let me know. I'll come back anytime and curse at people.
Oh, dude, we're gonna have to do this again because I feel like we only have scratched the surface of some of the stories we could tell because we haven't even told some of the best insurgency stories yet, and
not even a little bit yet.
That's what we should do. We should do another podcast with you after we get back from the insurgency game. We should get Josh on it, and we could just do an insurgency debrief with all the best idiots. So it would be amazing. I'm
down, sir.
Hell yeah. I'm gonna pitch it to Josh, and we're gonna make this happen.
Nice.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you all for watching this episode of the Gun Gamers podcast. This has been Eric.
Lutz.
Yeah.
Garrett.
And Tweens. Garrett
Hell
Tweens. Yeah. I didn't mean to cut you off there, buddy.
Well, thank you all for watching, and I'm going to show the outro and play us out. You all have a great night. Stay classy and enjoy the Resident Evil 4 remake, because I know I'm going to. All right.